Hello? Is anyone there? It's us. It's us. We are those people. We're those people on that screen.
Yes.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing? You may notice, and don't pay attention to it, you might notice there's a slightly different background this week. Sorry, David, I didn't even cue you into this slightly. But if you want to have a quick look, there is a slightly different background. In fact, I might even... I can't be bothered. Okay. I won't tell you why I've done that, because there's absolutely no need whatsoever. Just...
I think I know why you did that.
Why did I do that?
Are those Crystal Palace goals?
That they might be, yes. Are you aware
because you won a cup recently?
We may have, and we might not have had a chat since that time. So I was there. Yeah. Picture the scene.
I bet you were. I bet you were.
Picture the scene.
I'd be shocked if you weren't.
Look, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but I am a slight Crystal Palace fan, and a slight, and there were scenes. All of them happened. I cried when we won the cup. I genuinely shed tears. I was with my brother, my mum, and my nephew, right? And all of us are bawling tears. My mum got literally the final whistle goes. My mum just is gone. She's not even in the world at that point. She is just a stream of just water coming off of her. It was mad. The noise, the atmosphere, the swearing.
When's the last time? I mean, I don't watch football a lot, but when's the last time Crystal Palace won a cup?
Here's the thing. This is why it was so important. Never. That's why it was so important.
Whoa!
Yes.
Wow, that's huge for Crystal Palace.
It's enormous.
Wow.
And
Crystal Palace's fan base is going to grow.
Oh, absolutely. But it was just an absolute joy to be there. It really was.
Okay.
And something I'll never forget. I said to my brother on the way home on the train, "Is that the best day of your life?" And he went, "Well, I kind of have to say the boy being born first." I was like, "No, fair enough. I'd probably say that, but I'd say a pretty close second is this."
Close tie.
Yeah.
It's a tie.
Because I mean, I've been going since I was 6 years old, and I'm now 13. So it's 30 years roughly of my life.
Moving the one over the two, divide by.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of maths involved, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought, why not a little start with that? But honestly, a lovely day, and so much so.
I did see that. I did hear about it, and I went, I bet someone's very chuffed right now.
Someone was very chuffed, and I can. I can tell you it was, the scenes is all I'll say. The scenes. Just, oh my God. But yeah, what a day. So, I've realised this was done last second as I was talking to David 3 minutes before we started. And then I realised, I'm going to put that in the background. So I've just noticed it's not framed up properly, but who cares?
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Who cares? Bragging rights.
Exactly. Over everyone, because we won the cup and they didn't. Yay. but, yeah, amazing. Would you like to hear...
That's how cups work, I think, right?
Would you like to hear something just as cool? Maybe more cool, especially seeing as we're on this platform. That happened literally... What would this be now? It would have been on the 29th of June, so exactly 1 week ago. Any guesses?
What?
What if I told you it might be an anniversary?
Oh, is it the Post-Sanity anniversary coming soon?
Not quite Post-Sanity. It is the first ever airing of what was Post-Sanity Plays and is now Rolly Grail 4 years ago. It was the anniversary last Thursday, yeah. And I only noticed because Josh's Facebook sent me out an email saying, "Oh, look, Josh put this out 4 years ago, exactly today." And I was like, "Whoa, holy crap, that was us!"
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
4 years.
4 years ago, can you believe it?
I mean, I joined you guys. Well, Post Anti plays anyway, but Post Anti's longer though, in a way.
No. Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean, it's an extra.
It's just the gaming side of things. It's only been 4 years.
Exactly. I think it's roughly 11 months
Awesome.
older. Like Post Sanity started about 11 months before sort of Post Sanity plays the Holy Grail. But I saw it. I was like, oh my god! What I have done is I have teed up the very first trailer for our first Lasers and Feelings episode. If you want to play it, because it'll take you back a bit. Fancy it?
Sure, let's do it.
Yeah. Now,
yeah.
I may also have another trailer for you later, or a little teaser. But why not? Let's take ourselves back a few years, 4 years to be exact.
Lovely.
Back to when David had more hair.
Just before, actually.
Yeah, David had more hair.
Oh, wow!
I think I actually had less hair. So let's go back and take a look. Here we go. Hi everyone, and welcome to the inaugural Lasers and Feelings for Post Sanity Plays.
I am Sir Julian Bobbington Smythe.
Rot and Nan.
Virgil Longshot.
I take it this is the crew.
You mean the cannon for it? Yes, this is them.
I malfunction liquid into the cup and throw it in his face.
That was ruddy unacceptable.
I'm asking, do they have night vision?
Night vision cowboy hats.
I want one of these as well.
I used to be a bartender, but then I took an arrow to the knee.
It's clear. I mean, why is it orange? Isn't orange slightly orange?
I like to make it pure.
Ruddy hell.
Run!
Just in case you maybe aren't the greatest pilot we've ever seen.
I'm the greatest pilot.
I would like to go pew-pew at the engine.
You know what I think? Barrel roll.
I fire at the hull of the ship, trying to blow a hole in it.
I'm going to throw my cane at this reprobate.
How far away is the reprobate?
This is space!
I wander around aimlessly and accidentally tread on him.
You idiots!
I'm going to grab Nan and use him as a shield.
Maximum chaos.
Well, maximum chaos. That's where maximum chaos came from.
Wow.
I know.
Wow.
I forgot that.
That was the thing that made me laugh there was I remember that so vividly. And Nan's like, I'm just gonna wander around. Oops, his head. And we all went, what?
I think the bit that gets me from that is night vision cowboy hats. It's the first time I think we really got to a point where I was just like, I don't have a plan. Like, what?
Yeah,
how do I deal with this moment?
Yeah, I can see as well, Virgil's development of its voice as well, like what I was trying to find as well. I noticed that. I remember it was Virgil Longshot, and then and over time, it's gotten this really graveliness.
It's funny, isn't it? Yeah.
It's probably from all the drinking.
Yeah, fair
point.
He did. And how Sir Julian hasn't changed one bit. So
no, yeah, literally first thing I ever did, threw a cane at somebody.
Basically,
so at the retrobate, which we know is Madge, who is still in immemorial,
absolutely,
and still used in many ways.
Maybe I should
in many universes.
Got to bring him back somehow. Oh dear. Do you know what? Talking about, I have been doing quite a lot of work on putting stuff together. So just a little bit of behind the scenes. Me and David had a little chat a while back because he's been very kindly covering a lot of the DM work recently. And I did say to him, I've kind of noticed maybe you need a bit of a hand. So Josh has been putting some work in. He's actually recorded a couple of things, but we're going to wait for him to get himself sorted on that. But eventually we'll have his D&D, which will be amazing. with genuinely the best
man.
thing David has ever said in his entire life in our episode. It was brilliant.
In my TTRPG curio, yeah.
I genuinely wondered whether I
man.
should just play that now, because it's like I say, it's like an anniversary episode. It's like, oh, we could tease it. I was like, no.
It'll be out of context though. You need
That's
the
right.
whole thing. You need the
context.
whole thing.
It's beautiful. Man.
Yeah. You need the context.
Yeah.
It's so fucking fun. Oh, like I don't know. I didn't even. It was so like I was in full improv mode,
Mhm.
and it just came out. I didn't pre-plan it. It just came in the moment.
Beautiful.
And I didn't realize how funny it was till after I said it, and you guys started creasing. I went, actually, that was fucking brilliant.
I laughed so hard that it started to hurt, and then I stopped, and then I started again because I couldn't let it go.
Yeah,
it was probably about 3 or 4 minutes of solid laughing to a point I had to try and like, hold my mouth to stop laughing so much.
Yeah,
great.
I think I actually produced some tears.
It was brilliant. I can't wait.
It was so funny.
Genuinely can't wait for that to come out. And also, I want to see what Josh has done with other people, because he has split us into groups from the start.
Yeah,
so I'd be very.
I think he's done some similar to you and me, some session zeros with some other potential players and new ones.
Yeah, that's right.
New ones to the channel.
New ones, yeah.
So I'm looking forward to kind of see what they've done. Josh has alluded to Ben's character.
I know it's mad. That's all I know. So I don't want to hear anything else.
Same. I'm literally the same. I don't know anything. Apparently, it's the most bonkers thing I think he's done. Apparently.
What? That can't be right.
We'll see.
Are you sure it's not just a very posh man? That's what he's good at. I don't want him to change that.
That'd be on track.
Yeah.
That'd be consistency. Apparently, it's not that, but we'll see.
Oh damn.
We'll see.
What was I saying? Oh yeah. Sorry. So Josh has been working on that. David has very much taken on the burden, and I know it's not really a burden, but you've taken on the hard work of putting the sort of DM games together, and I've finally gotten to a point where I'm like, I should probably help you here. So I have been working on the Lasers and Feelings. Don't worry, that is something we haven't filmed it or anything yet, but I've got an idea, and maybe I'll bring Madge into it because that'd be fun. I've also, and David, you'll know this because you would have seen it yesterday, finally got my finger out my bum, and I have put together the first episode of our new Harry Potter series. That is...
I'm wondering how... I really wondered how long it was going to be up there.
Yeah, it was... oh, the finger. Yeah. It had to be pulled out slowly, let's put it that way. Do you know... Okay, I'm going to tell you... just going to tell you something that one of my teachers told to one of my mates. And I was in the room, and I couldn't stop laughing. And so my teacher, one of my science teachers, had a very weird way of dealing with kids. And he just, like, especially when we got a bit older, year 9, year 10, they don't deal with you quite in the same way. They might occasionally swear, a couple of them, and stuff like that. This one just did not give a rat's ass. Once he saw a bully spit into another kid's face, he grabbed the bully and told the kid that was being bullied to spit back in his face. This is the kind of teacher he was. Absolutely brilliant. Anyway, so my mate was being a bit of an arsehole in class. And he told him off a couple of times, come on, we're trying to do work here. And he said, Mr. I won't say his name, but he said, Mr. whatever your name is, take your finger, put it up your bum, and pull it out slowly. But don't sniff. At which point we all erupted into laughter. Because it's not funny, and that's why it's funny.
Yeah, it was just cringe.
Yeah. Anyway, I've pulled my finger out my bum, and I will not sniff. The Harry Potter episode is basically... It's going to be a session 0 because I'm going to give these guys a chance to sort things out. I won't talk too much about it, obviously, but it's basically, I'd say 80%. Character sheets were sent out yesterday. I got a very cool gift back from Ben because he's the one who asked me to do this, of an excited Dumbledore, so that's cool. I cannot wait to see what happens. Yeah, I've
been thinking of a character which I think accent-wise, The beer will be one for a while. The beer will be one for a while, I think. But, like, I think I'm slowly forming something. Ever since you sent that, I was literally lying in bed, because I do early mornings because of my new job. So I go to bed very early sometimes these days, even though I'm a night owl. And lying there in bed, and I was like, oh, what if I do this? And it's like, you know, the sort of quirks and all the other bits and elements, mechanics, without going into it too much. And I just went, here. Yes.
Brilliant.
So I'm looking forward to this character.
Oh
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not fully fleshed out, but I've got the beginnings of something.
Well,
in terms of mannerisms.
I'm going to give one minor thing away. I created a map yesterday. That's all I'm going to tell you. But yeah.
Lovely.
So yeah, hopefully that'll be something in the not too distant future. My thought is what we'll do is we'll probably hold off until after July because of some availability issues around that time. So we'll probably do it after that. But yeah, hopefully we'll start filming soon on that. I genuinely can't wait. I'm still working on a few characters and working out a couple of things, but oh man, it's going to be wicked. Yeah. Sorry. I was about to say, let's talk about the episode. Let's not, because... Can I talk to you about one more thing I did?
Yes.
Cool. So, I am a man, and as a man, I obviously no men in the world like musicals, right? As you know.
Right.
Yeah. So, now, this is true of me as well. No, in all honesty, I don't mind musicals, right? There's been a musical I've always wanted to go and watch, right? And I will put my man card out there now and say I've always wanted to go and watch Wicked, right? But about 6-7 years ago, I bought tickets for my parents, and they came back and went, meh, it was all right. And I was like, oh, if you're just saying meh, maybe I shouldn't bother. And then they did make a film, right? And I did watch that film, right? So I thought I'd give you a couple of thoughts on that film, because I have some thoughts.
Oh yeah.
All right. So
thoughts.
So it's the maddest I've been whilst watching a film ever, and it's a strange sort of mad, because I'm angry for a completely different reason than I think most people would be. So I have good things, I have bad things. I'll talk through some of the good things first of all. It's got Ariana Grande in it as one of the main characters, and Cynthia, I think it's Erivo. Both of them are fantastic. Yes. Oh my god. Ariana Grande has never been in a film before. She's done lots of acting, but she's never been in a film before. You wouldn't know. She's probably one of the best actors in the world. That's how good she was in this film. Like, genuinely, I put her in the top 10. She was immense.
Well, she did a lot of, like, Nickelodeon.
Yes, yeah, all the kids stuff. Back in the day. But she's never been in a feature film. Forget it, man. Just put her in everything. She's genuinely that good. And I thought she was a bit of I assumed,
really?
From her personality, she seems really nice, but maybe might be a bit of a pain in the ass. Nah, man,
so she's done like a Lady Gaga, because Lady Gaga is actually
she's better than Lady Gaga. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy. Not even a competition. She absolutely smashed it. Cynthia Erivo is an incredible singer and deserves all the plaudits. Amazing, absolutely amazing. What genuinely wonderful pairing. Those two. I'm so pleased. So it is a part 1 and there's a part 2. I'm so pleased there's a part 2. They both deserve to be on the screen forever. They were fantastic. But that does bring me to the problems.
Oh.
There were two big problems, right? So there's a song that everybody knows, right? It's the song from Wicked, right?
The song which we can't sing on stream because of copyright.
Oh, I'll give it a go. No. Defying Gravity. Everybody knows it. You'll know. It's probably the best song in any musical. Maybe not 100. I mean, I know there's a couple in Les Mis that are pretty good. It's not my thing. I think this is probably the best one in any musical. they split it into 4 sections. It starts and then it stops and they go and do something else. And then it starts again and stops. And I was like, oh, this is...
immersion breaking.
Yeah, every time they did it, I was like, oh, just get to it. It was 10 minutes for a 4-minute song kind of thing. You're like, come on. I was like, oh, that's a real shame. But here's the big issue and the thing that they really fucked up over. It's 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's
a musical in itself. It's a musical in itself in that film.
So yes, basically.
That's like a musical length.
So the stage thing is about 90 minutes from what I know about. They haven't. I don't feel like it could have been about 2 hours. Like, you know, they added a couple of things in where I was like, oh, okay, that's quite interesting. You know, extend a little bit here and there. You know, do extra things with the characters. That seems pretty cool. You know, you've got the extra room to be able to do it.
Yeah,
make
gives
it
them
2 hours,
breathing
maybe
room.
2 hours, maybe 2:10. You could cut half an hour. Genuinely, every scene, I was like, I cut it there, and then it goes on for 5 minutes more, and you're like, what are you doing? It's done. We've done the thing. You don't need to talk about that stuff now or sing about it. You can stop there. Like, it's real annoying.
Yeah.
And so a few months ago, six weeks ago roughly, by we I mean me, Ben, Josh, and Kyle, along with a couple other people, had worked on a 5-minute film.
Oh yeah.
And I did the initial editing for it, and I had to cut down this 40-50 minute long thing that we'd filmed into 5 minutes, and it was difficult, but I got it there. And, you know, okay, we made changes along the way, you know, and I only made the first couple of edits, and then the other guys had other ideas and things. I'm all right at that stuff, but, you know, Josh and Ben have worked on this stuff for 10 years longer than I have, so they know what they're doing, kind of thing. But I managed to cut it down to 5 minutes, right? I got it down to a good amount. And I did what a lot of people call kill your darlings, which is that shot's really good, but it doesn't add anything. Get rid of it. And I did that a lot. They didn't do that in this film. And I was so disappointed. I was like, that shot is amazing. Genuinely, that is the best shot of the film. Don't need it. It was really annoying. I was getting more and more pissed off. I was like, I did this. Why didn't you?
It's tough. See, even when you've edited videos, I've edited videos as well, and there are points I get to that where I'm like, that scene did not have to be that long. I've been like that in movies as well, and that's usually after you've been editing stuff yourself, or you make stuff that has narrative content, and you just go. And especially we went through a lot of stuff. I mean, when I made Sanctuary with Josh, we had to cut things way down. And build out certain bits, and then make decisions and remake stuff. We made it first, and then we pretty much did a full remake almost. In some regards, we kept a lot of core stuff, but there was a lot of stuff which it's like character interactions. Like, why would they do that? That makes no sense. And it's but it's just refining and just taking the initial product and making it better, you know. Which if you got the time, do it. Yeah, but it's tricky and it's time consuming, and I think something is. I can't imagine how much money went into that.
Hundreds of millions. Easily.
Maybe it was a case of well, fuck, we don't have enough money to reshoot or pay the editors to do another go at this, and after we've done the reshoots, and so it's tricky. It's not easy to do a film that long. The only ones that have been able to really do that is Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings. You could sit through there. What was Return of the King was 3 hours?
Oh, do you know what? Good question. I feel like it wasn't quite that long. I feel like the collector's edition or whatever it is was Return of the King. I'm actually gonna look it up.
I can't remember.
I'm gonna say.
But those films are long, dude. but you're engrossed the whole time. Like, I love the Lord of the Rings. Films are so good. Like, the OG ones. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I watched The Hobbit. I mean, the last one was pretty cool with the five armies where they clashed and stuff. That was cool.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was pretty fun. But yeah, whoa. Lord of the Rings: Return of the King was 3 hours 21 minutes. That went by far too quickly. That does not feel right.
Well, you know what I mean. So some people can do it really well. Wow. It takes real freaking skill.
Oh my god!
To do that.
The director's cut is 4 hours 23 minutes. I have watched both of these several times. Wow, I genuinely don't know how they're that long. It doesn't feel like
it, does it?
No. Wow. I can't believe that.
That comes to the main thing there is what comes down to that is good pacing.
Oh god, yeah.
You have to pace it right because then it doesn't feel as long. You're hitting the right you're hitting the right beats of the track, and in terms of like being on the path, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I mean you're not wrong.
I think that yeah,
I would have genuinely thought it was about an hour less than that. That's that shows you how well paced it is. Damn, I'm genuinely surprised by that.
I think there's big battle scenes as well, those that go on for a while, and then we have cuts in and out now and again. But like those scenes themselves, really, it makes you feel like you in this war with them, kind of thing. Because it is kind of just how it's shot, different angles, different takes. Where the fight's been lost, where the fight's been won, on whatever side, and it's and then to sculpt it round and to do those then cuts to you've got the Sam and Frodo climbing that cliff towards Shelob's lair unknowingly, and then cut right back into the action. Like, I think it's really cool, like, because it breaks it up as well, pacing.
Very true.
To be like, oh my god, that's so much war, and it's like, oh fuck yeah, Frodo and Sam. While all this is happening, these guys are literally. And they're getting ripped apart. Their friendship's getting by this little shit spittle, and
he's so good. Oh god, honestly, just the best thing.
I
was watching something where they were actually talking about Smeagol and how well he came along from the Lord of the Rings to the Hobbit. And they couldn't stop doing the voice, even though like it's meant to be very serious and they're chatting through all this stuff. And literally, there's just a moment where they both just look at each other and go, "We eats him whole." And it's just so. It was like, why? Why are you doing that during this very important thing you're talking about? It was very good. Because you can't help but love him despite the fact he's a horrible little bastard. Because he's just so well performed. But yeah, oh man. Oh no, I want to watch Lord of the Rings and spend 3.5 hours going, I could cut this out, and be like, no, I can't cut any of this out, actually.
But you know who is also a terrible piece of shit?
Go on.
It's not me. It's Diego Paris from Candela Obscura that put us back on track.
What? It's such a segue.
Ended up being left of him anyway.
Oh my god.
Yes, the segue.
You literally, you got up onto 2 wheels and you pushed that forward and it went all in electric.
Yes, it did.
It was a segue. And
yes. Yes.
Hold on, I'm sure I can find something else to talk about. No, look, we need to talk about Candela because it's pretty good, this one, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. I mean, should we kick ourselves off with, let me just get the essay out.
Why not? I mean, I do feel like we've spent more than usual talking about other things, so we probably should spend a bit of time on it, shouldn't we?
No, usually it takes longer.
I've got
I swear to God, we do a good hour.
It's true. I've got to ask, did... the name for the episode, did you decide it on the fly or had you decided it beforehand? Because it's a shadow search.
I did. I always think of these before we start because I base it on the nature of what I feel is going to be kind of the kind of main plot point of that particular chapter. And I think also the assignment is very telling as well in terms of what the name. I mean, even think about the assignment before Red Lens. A lot of it was looking through. Obviously, you had that red scarlet theme. You're in the Scarlet Forest. There was the device that had been made, and also through Josh's previous character Arthur's, seen that lens through his eyes and his character's bit of the backstory or whatever, and going forward into this in terms of like how he remembers things, sees things, and from his past and who come back to his present. So there's a lot of that, and I think the last assignment was a big setup as well towards this season. I feel like it's like one of those. If you could think about all the assignments that we've done, the kind of TV series aspect is like season 2 was kind of like this like season in between to like set everything up into this next one. Because this idea that I have with this assignment, which is gonna get bonkers,
I can't
wait. It's gonna be unhinged. For what I've been wanting to do this for ages, and everything has a lead up to, has always been leading up to this moment.
Perfect.
It's maybe tweaked here and there depending on like kind of what happens, but we're coming, even the end of this. So there's the whole thing about the fountain of living light that comes back in the conversation.
Of course.
It's always been kind of trying to get back to the space that you guys were in. Again, to try and show an importance of this. Like, you kind of like, okay, cool, we've done this thing. It wasn't done with you. You know what I mean? That's and
considering we fought like a pretty horrible thing there as well.
Yeah.
I'm wondering whether the corpse is still there. If we end up going back, that would be very interesting. But I mean, geez.
So the corpse, the thing, it kind of went. It kind of like all the souls it had been taking in, and it just dispersed into the ether with the souls itself, and all the souls were set free that it had been consuming. So with the Shadow Search thing, it was kind of play on Josh's character Kin, and a bit of that again plays that search like into investigators, something new, and again it ties in again still with the circle of shadow and light. There's still the shadow and light elements that keep coming into play throughout all the assignments that I've been playing with. So it makes sense, and obviously his character was very kind of, because of his nature, he's kind of hidden away. So there's a kind of not like it's not like espionage and intrigue per se here, but obviously his character is looking for answers, and what better way to try and find them with a bunch of people who are got some investigating behind them now, and in terms of what they do as part of their role in Candela. So there's a whole element of that. So, but yeah, everything so far is going to be like, for what I have planned, it's going to be like nothing in comparison.
Cannot wait.
And it's the first time I've done this in a tabletop game with you guys.
Okay.
This level of how it's going to affect. I'm going to leave it there.
That's interesting.
It's because I feel like it'll be maybe too giveaway spoilery.
Okay, fair enough.
So I'm not going to say it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, I mean, the reason I asked that question really was because Josh's character remains completely shrouded, or mostly shrouded, for the entire episode, and it feels so apt, deciding on that title with that happening. But obviously there's no way you could have known. But yeah, I thought you might have decided it beforehand, but it's just such a It's exactly what's happening in the episode. Basically, it's such a good idea. But shall we do a roll and talk about whatever the hell is going on?
We can do. Let's see.
Quite a lot that happens in this.
Okay. Let's go. Number 12.
Okie dokie, number 12. Okay. Okay. So Kin picks up the flame sword and looks through Frankenstein's desk. There's nothing obvious there. So, I mean, maybe we talk about how he gets the flame sword first of all, which is essentially the way that he gets into Frankenstein's office, almost being speared by a soldier of Pyre, who I think is a really cool sort of antagonist. Knowing that they're sort of flame based as well, I think is very interesting. But the fact that he manages to essentially knock him out with one punch immediately gives you the idea of, we've never really had somebody in the party that has any sort of fighting ability whatsoever, and all of a sudden this hulk of a man turns up and's able to. Yeah, he's basically one punch man. So, which I know you like. So.
Yeah, it specifically goes like, I am a soldier of Pyre.
Yeah. I assumed he was starting to give a sermon, but
he's like,
but
or like some sort of like religious zealotry, and he just went, nope. Not today. I got stuff to do.
It's like those, most people when you have like somebody knock on your door, the Mormons or whatever knock on your door, and you're trying to be polite, but you're like,
I had that recently with Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yeah, you're trying to be polite, but you're also like piss off. But and then
they're usually
they're usually lovely, aren't they? But at the same time, it would be quite easy just to we'll get Josh's character in and just resolve that issue from now on. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, but also there's bring these guys back in. There's a lot of loose ends with Theobald's character.
Yes.
Kind of the main kind of story pacing with the first assignment kind of being mainly about Theobald, and we had Arthur's kind of, and then this is obviously a focus on the professor this time.
Yeah.
But still, there's an element of wrapping up those kind of worlds as Theobald and yours are starting to. It's actually interesting now I think about it. It's the thing again of like science and the occult clashing against each other again.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a laugh, but it's still like, in the first assignment and stuff like that. But it's still coming back, and that conversation is kind of not finished yet. Because you've got Theobald's father's still out there. You got the Cardinal, formerly known as Anticupi, still out there. You obviously in this episode dealt with Diego Paris that you met in the previous assignment, who was the right hand of the Cardinal, who obviously had picked up an injury.
Yes.
But had survived the encounter on the train. But it obviously didn't help him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
he only had 1 hour.
Yeah, I will say
difficult.
It took a lot of work and quite a bit of time, more time than is acceptable, to come up with the song for the final episode of the 3, because the song was called Diego the Shield. And as you'll probably be aware, I obviously use sort of AI to put the songs together, and I like to make the song something to do with what happened in the episode. There's a little sort of a wink and a nod and a fun finish to the episode. However, what happens to him is so incredibly disgusting when you think about it in real life that writing it out into any sort of AI system, it goes, we're not making a song about that. That's bloody horrible. I'm not kidding. I had to keep changing things around so that I could. Eventually, it went. Yeah, all right then. Like, the amount of times it still was like, maybe change a couple of words here and there. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And then the songs that came out weren't quite right. I wanted it to be quite light and cheery, and it wasn't. It's like too over the top rocky, and then I got one that was just bouncy enough. I was like, yeah, this will do me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there was Kin was playing too roughly with his toys.
Yes, I think so. But again,
yeah.
This is not something we've experienced within Candela. You know, we're very much oh god, don't fight unless you really have to sort of. And then all of a sudden we've got a party member who is very much able and willing to put in the effort, and has essentially a berserk mode like a barbarian, you know, from D&D, which is I genuinely didn't even know that was a thing. So that was very cool.
It's a homebrew.
Of course it is. That's not like Josh. But brilliant idea, honestly.
No, so it was I was like I did say to him, Josh, what if I got a fun idea? What if we do a role that's specifically just for you, because the nature of you and your character and X, Y, and Z, which I won't go into.
No.
Wouldn't it make sense if we would sometimes lose control? And he was like, his eyes just went,
yes.
Yes, 1,000 times yes.
Brilliant.
So then I was like, so it's one of these things that I go and I look at Josh and I go, Josh, would you like to make that role, please? And obviously that's happened. You guys were like, what?
Honestly, it's such a cool moment when you're just like, hold on a minute, this guy's got some style. And
literally he took Diego Paris out. He's like, I am Diego Paris of the right hand of the card. No, did it again, basically.
So
almost,
good.
I mean, one of them got a hit on Josh's character. Josh's character was like,
just sort of shook it off, didn't he? Yeah. In fact, I think the person that got the hit was Tybalt, wasn't it? If I remember correctly.
Was it Tybalt?
Yeah, he shot the wrong. He shot him by accident, I think. If I remember. correctly.
And he was like, shrugged it
happens.
And just like,
hold on.
So again, that kind of speaks to Josh's character being very combat effective. So yeah, that was. But it adds story, even though like something went wrong there. That's what's really great about Candela and these kind of. There's very small room success, and one of the things that drew me to wanting to run these games is this horror element of like, the chances of doing things right is very low, which is in tandem with horror. That's the whole point when you make a horror film. It's not like, oh, everybody wins.
But I think that is one of the reasons why you build your character to be able to do a couple of things good. So, my character was very much more based on searching and trying to find things out to begin with, and then as I've taken damage, I've actually moved it closer towards being able to do other things. I won't say what, because I don't even want to tell you, if I'm being honest. I'm sure if you looked at the character sheet you'd work it out, but there's other things he's better at now that he wasn't at the start, which is true because you're going to progress through these things, aren't you? Which I think gives
that's you adapting in a horror situation.
But I think it gives me an edge in some areas, which and of course it doesn't now in others, which is cool. But yeah, I mean, I think the use of the the extra dice occasionally. It's gone out of my head now. What's the
dice system?
Yeah, you know how you can
the mechanics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of just giving yourself an extra boost occasionally, I think is massive. And something I think sometimes we forget to use it as well. I've certainly forgotten a couple of times and then been like, I should have used it. Yeah. But honestly,
you guys get caught up in the bits sometimes, such as the funeral bit.
Oh my god. It was honestly, it was so much fun. There's two moments in this where I thought, because obviously, like you say, it was somewhat geared toward my character, which I love because I like to be center of attention. So
Yes.
no, but genuinely, my character likes that anyway. I'm very happy to be sat in the corner.
Yes.
But the
do I have any? Hold my messages.
Yeah. Honestly, we will come to that in a second. But there were two moments, and the first, well, technically the second, I suppose, because it happened later in the episode, was the moment of Theobald had a Professor Klaus moment and accidentally killed the groundsman, which was perfect for him because it was just like, oh no, you're also as bad as I am, kind of thing. But it was just perfect because it was like, he can't even blame me. It was his fault. And the moment of I take the keys, I knew that somebody was there, but I just assumed it was Theobald. And of course it wasn't. It was Kin who just takes the keys straight back off me. Yeah. I just touched the face. Yeah. I didn't want to turn around because I wanted Josh to have his moment of do whatever you need to do. But the fact that he took the keys and we have that whole thing of digging up the grave and then putting the guy in, realizing we don't have the keys, having to dig him back up again. It was the perfect end to that that first
so
episode.
You're just like, good. Keys, and it's like,
yeah. I've never said the words exhume the body before, but
it's so funny because as well, like we have this cut scene of as well. Josh's character Kin trying to look for vents in the window.
Yeah.
It's like they're not huge, but you can hear like a little funeral ceremony going on. And literally, you're just there. You're like, all stealth was forgotten.
Yep.
You felt so bad. That's the element of stealth was gone. It's like, well, hey, look, it doesn't matter. The guy's dead. There's no stealth to be done. So it's like we killed the very guy we tried to stealth from. It's an innocent old groundsman. So
just pissed off at the cat.
It's. It's like it's you scribbles or whatever I said. I can't remember what I called the cat, but I was just like, I thought that was so funny, and then all of a sudden he's like,
it's the thing is it's the bit that carried through as well. The entire thing, because into episode 2, like the first thing that happened when we saw the Pyre Man was, oh god, we'll have to bury this one now, and then and then right at the end, I think one of the last thing that Theobald says after we've ended up killing a couple more of the Pyre guys, in the laboratory, is, I hope you're good at digging, Kin. It just carried through the entire way because it was just a great bit. But
oh dear.
But the other thing, of course, is the secretary. I've got to ask you, before we go into that bit anymore, were they always supposed to be a bad guy? Because I came up with the secretary idea. You didn't. I told you about that the day before we filmed, if you remember. So I assumed I'd just put a fun character in there for 5 minutes of a joke. And they ended up coming quite important. So what were they?
I will never tell.
Oh, you're a bad man. Fair enough. But
well, you still got to interrogate them next episode.
Is it them? We don't know. Could be anyone. Please let it be someone else, just to be like, huh?
Oh, sorry, I'm mistaken.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But I mean,
she just walks in like, what the fuck is going on here?
But honestly, I mean the way you played it, because obviously I pretty much said to you, I've got a secretary. She's not very good at her job. She's a bit rubbish. Do what you wish with it, essentially, wasn't it? And you very much did what you wish. And I'm so pleased with it.
Yeah. I think it was like, just kind of going with the flow of things, really. So it made sense that in the end, be like, she doesn't really care because she's got an ulterior motive, supplant. Yeah.
I just think it's a brilliant thing, and I was amazed with that. When you said it, I was just like, oh my god, she might be a baddie. That's like, I just assumed she was just couldn't do her job well, not that she was actually a bad guy. That's a very clever idea. Well done.
Oh no, I feel like she's probably just a very unequipped for that job because that's not her real job description. You know, it's kind of like you literally no one would like the way I think of it, even though it's not established, but I think it's funny. You did put an ad out, and no one else responded.
Yeah. But I mean,
so I think that's funny.
The fun of going into an episode, not knowing anything about it, and then playing with what you've done. You know, you've got this massive laboratory next to Klaus's office, and just being able to go, oh, is that why they knocked down part of the wall and, you know, made my office smaller? And I just thought it was budget cuts or something, you know, like, and being able to feed into that story of art was real cool, man.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh my God, that's just reminded me of something else. The bit where we keep giving away our secret identities to kin every 30 seconds was so funny. And it's like, no, you tell us your secret mission. It's like, we've literally...
I will say as well, Viren, I will say this, because it was what the character felt, would have killed you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. The bit where...
100%.
Yeah, the bit... I fully appreciate that, and I agree I would have killed him too. But the bit where you're talking about Professor Frankenstein, and he's just like, oh yeah, I told him everything. It's just like, you... What? And it was just goes, and the more and more I was just like, yeah, I told him you were there and you were there and you were there and you guys
what's
did
that gif
this?
when they're all in the theaters and they could gun or whatever and then they're like
exactly,
their foreheads, like,
yes,
that's what I
literally, it's exactly what it was. But it was so much fun to play. And my favourite bit of where you were like, you said like, you got a gun out, you were like, are you compromised? And I went, I will compromise as much as you like. Honestly.
Oh man, so close. See if you get the bit, because the way I was kind of where her mindset is at that moment. See if you get the bit going.
Yeah.
She was going to, I don't know if kill you, but she was going to definitely take you into like their Guantanamo Bay.
Yes. I
never
know.
See it again.
I know I pushed it right up to the line, and like near the end, I sort of brought it back. Then I pushed it one more time, and then brought it back again. But
no.
Oh, it was so.
You're like fun. A child pushing the limits with a parent. Absolutely. You're like, where's
it? Honestly,
where's the limit?
So many of my characters do that. Fortescue is the same. I love that. Just let's see how far I can take this. It's why I love playing the sort of comic character. It's so much fun. And I mean, we all have those moments though, don't we? Where just like, I've got to push this further. It's beautiful. Yeah. So does that mean for Candela? Does that mean we've only got 2 more like recordings left? Am I right?
Yep.
Probably.
Or what I have kind of planned for the series. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Damn. And that, like, from what I
for this particular circle, anyway. I was
going to say, from what I understand, I think that's the end of the characters as well. Man, I'm going to be genuinely super sad to let Klaus go. But yeah, that, you know what? Sometimes it's better to leave them wanting more. So I'm absolutely fine with that.
Well.
Yes, the German accent is, as you could expect, perfect. Now, as a man who does genuinely know a bit of German and is definitely not fluent, but can at least string a few sentences together, it's pretty damn poor. But it's so much fun. Now, it is getting towards that time where we call it a day, but. Before we do that, I know, right? Before we do that, I have another treat, because I'll be honest with you, I've been sort of like slacking a little bit on little clips and things recently, and it's just been because it's so busy. But
I don't want to say anything.
I know. Look, if anything, I've let you all down, and that's fine. I'll live with it. But okay. I thought this is technically an anniversary episode, a Saniversary, if you will, a sort of unofficial one. And So I thought, well, we got to do something. I was like, well, let's just put a little clippy clip together of the next episode that's coming up. Now, it was mainly because how far am I through the D&D? I'm about 40% through it, and I am a little worried that I might not end up getting it done, but I'm going to try and get it done before the end of next week. I have a wedding to go to over the weekend, so I'm really tight for time. Yeah. I think I can get it. But yeah, anywho, there's a very minor possibility we might not be going out next week, but hopefully we'll be all right. Apologies if we don't.
Yeah.
But I thought, just to make sure, let's add a little clip in for D&D. So, would you like to see it, sir?
I would love to see it, yeah.
Okie dokie. Well, here we go. The clip is on its way. 3, 2, 1.
And also, if you guys have access to Discord, I'm going to send you a little something that Vehicle has put together overnight from Rome. And funnily enough, it's a map.
Oh!
Yes.
Okay, it's going to appear.
It will appear
right
for
here.
you guys.
Whoever Discord, which is
now with explosions.
Whatever absolute legend is editing this, we'll put it here, and they would have to be a legend.
right in front.
Right here.
It's now your face.
What you've got to do now is put it somewhere sensible, and then when I do that,
So I've sent it into the Insanity Discord channel.
I'm just gonna
have a quick look.
I'm gonna look on my phone because it's not.
Yes.
I'm gonna look on your phone.
Yes.
Ah.
You can see marks where Stridus Bay is, where the Maze the Cloud of Mind is.
Okay.
And you also, they've made a kind of reference to where the Green Dragon was sighted and made a kind of rough kind of flight area that it may be in. Also where you destroyed the Grung village. And the golden arches you left behind.
A little above table thing because
Yes.
it's funny, right? Now I suspect this is a nice little example of the north-south divide, in that I had always assumed that we'd landed in the south and were going north, but here we've clearly landed in the north and are going south, which is the difference between living in southeast England and living in Scotland. Obviously, you start in the north because that's where you are.
Yes!
What I'll do for you, John,
Now he gets it! No.
in the edit, I'm going to switch it. I'm going to reverse it 180 for us.
Look, what is direction?
Yeah.
Not a choice in naming.
What's the little circle? Oh, Dragon Danger.
Yeah, it's like a little legend thing he's added to. These are just kind of
Dragon Danger, I get you. Right. I thought it was
and
like...
the ring that's there, big one is anticipated flight path.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which you've seen as well.
Or
Yes.
right here.
Right here.
So this has kind of been the area and journey so far. And Virgo is like made nothing.
What? Wow!
He instantly goes into a rage.
Oh man, that was so much fun to edit. Honestly, guys, so much fun to edit. Do you like the explosion? I'll put it in there for you.
Was awesome. And so that's the first time you've added it, and the amount of times I've been kind of subconsciously in different episodes saying explosion here,
Yep.
and then it's not. But it's like the fact I was so happy when there's finally a big explosion, and I was like, yeah, you saw me, like, obviously when the clip was playing, like back here at like a really HQ, right? I was like, so happy.
Man. Honestly, one of the best
because I didn't
clips.
expect it, because I was just like, I was like, he's not gonna do it, and it's like,
It's actually an explosion for once.
so happy. That was such a great clip.
Isn't it? I know.
Like with the map, and here, and then here. So good. So good.
Yeah. Do you know what we? Honestly, it's a really fun episode coming up. I don't know what to say about it. Like I say, I'm only about 40% of the way through it, and part of that is because I had to keep playing around with the damn map to sort of move it to different places.
Yes.
But it was worth it. That clip was so much fun.
So good.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Wow.
But, yeah. So that's it. D&D coming up. Hopefully next week. I will do my very best, but if it's not, it will be the week after. In which case, I apologise. You can blame my cousin because it's her wedding. So yeah. I'll send her ill regards from all of you. So
God. Ick.
oh dear. But yes. I think I've just about had enough. I've decided that is it.
Yeah.
I'm done. That's it. I don't want to see your faces anymore. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, one more very important thing. Obviously, you know, well done, Crystal Palace, for doing a win. Oh man, it was so good. It was so good. Do you know they did an end of season thing where they paraded it through the streets? They had a open top bus, right? And
great.
A load of my family went. And a couple of friends came up from Southampton to see it as well. It's my mate and his son. And my mum and my nephew have got this this thing that they want to be as close to everything when it's happening, you know. So they pushed through an enormous crowd of people. There's 50,000 people on the streets. They pushed through and got right to the front of the of sort of like the cordoning off of all the roads and stuff. Yeah. And they saw everything go past. And me and my dad were right behind them, and they pushed past a couple of young children, and I looked at my dad and went, I don't think I can do that because they're so small. And I was like, I know they're arseholes, but I don't think I can be that arsehole. So we ended up being about 20 people deep back. We still got to see everything, but it was really funny. And of course my mum and my nephew were going mad at the end. Like, we got so many good pictures. I was like, yeah, but the remorse. They were like, nah, don't worry about it. The remorse. They were like, you only get to see this stuff once, mate.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Oh, brilliant. But yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. It's the loudest noise ever recorded at Wembley Stadium when there was a penalty saved. And 115 decibels. Oh, wow. Which is louder than, I think it's a chainsaw at full blast next to your ear is 115 decibels. Oh. You'll go deaf in 30 seconds if that continues. That's how loud it got. Madness. Awesome though. Oh my god. Oh my. Yeah. Anywho, that's it from me. What's going up in Scotland? Is there any cool things happening up there?
Not really.
No, okay, fair enough. Can I just add one more thing then? One more thing, which is one more thing. Genuinely, you know that's from Jackie Chan Adventures. Do you remember that back in the day? Ah, damn.
Oh, his uncle. It was the his grandfather or something. Yeah.
Oh man, honestly, that was my catchphrase about 3 years.
One more thing.
I love that. Anyway,
stop being stupid.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Anyway, one more thing. Congratulations, David, for doing a job. David got a job recently, and he's been absolutely smashing it for all accounts. So, well done to you, sir. Good job, man. I know it's
I actually saluted as a joke. I saluted my boss before he went on holiday. Like, is everything good? You saw that done this thing? He's like, right now, keep a tight ship on it.
Yes, brilliant. Yeah. But yeah, well done, mate. I know it's difficult, but fully deserved. I know you're a hard-working fella anyway, so they've got the right person. But good on you, man. And wish you luck. Anywho, should we call that it?
My legs are sore.
Yes.
No, my legs are sore. Literally, I was walking home, ow, ow, ow.
Yes.
Getting back into hospitality again. Mm-hmm. Jeez, when you're on your feet, having been in a desk job. I did outdoor stuff, but there was chances in between to maybe sit or do something else, right? But then it was the fact you're non-stop. Oh. My legs are so sore.
Oh, I know. My last job.
I'm getting too old.
So my last job was working for a. It was. I won't go into it too much, but it was to do with helping disabled people and getting wheelchairs for them. And my desk was up a flight of stairs, and I used to have to run up and down those stairs. Genuinely run, because I was that busy. I probably ran those stairs 50 times a day. And by the end of it, by about the 40th run, I was like, oh my God, my legs are killing me. And I've got like a 2-hour journey home as well, and I'll probably be standing on the train. It's like, I feel your pain. I know yours is worse because I was at least sitting down during my job, but oh my God, I feel your pain.
No, yeah. So I had to so the way the buses work as well. There's one bus that could take me all the way there to near where I live, and then it's only like a 5-minute walk. That bus only comes once every now and again, whereas this there's one that comes more often. But then I walk to that bus, I get on it. It takes me most of the way, but then I have like a 15-minute walk after that. So, and it takes about 10 minutes to get to the bus. So, yeah, having done full shift, and then I was like, and going up to the bus is like a little hill. So I'm like, and then I get on, I'm like, literally like, and then I'm like having to get off my seat, and I'm like,
just dead.
Trying to get off the bus. Like, trying to get off quickly enough.
That reminds me of something that happened to me once when I was on the way. I used to go to college up at Crystal Palace, school there called Harris.
No way.
Yeah, I know, right? By the way, if you ever want to, if you have children and you want to send them somewhere, don't send them there, because first of all they'll get robbed, and secondly, if they're not the best person in the class, they get forgotten about, which is exactly what happened to me. So great place. Anyway. I remember being so knackered out once. I think I'd spent all night doing some coursework, and I was up there like I say, for college. I think I was must have been about 17, and I fell asleep on the bus. And then, so to get to the college, it has to go down quite a steep hill, and I was sat like right next to where the exit is. So the exit doors are in front of me, but you have that glass panel, and I was in one of the seats, and I was completely out for the count. And this bus then goes down the hill, and what do? Smash my head on the glass. I thought I'd broken the glass. I hit it that hard. It woke me up at least, but oh my God, I had this massive lump on my head. I was like, like genuinely walking around with this lump for about 4 days on my head. Oh man, it's horrible. But yeah, don't fall asleep on the bus. There you go.
No. Jeez, I've done that before.
Oh mate, I've had somebody burn the back of my head on a bus once. I didn't realise until afterwards, because I was like, what is that? What's that feeling? And it was 2 kids who'd sprayed some aerosol into the back of my head and then started to light it on fire. And I only realised later when I was like, what's that? And my hair was like crumbling into bits. And I had a look, and it was literally a patch where it had been burnt off. It's like, how did I feel that? Like, I knew something was happening a bit, but I was just like, every time I did that, I didn't feel anything. And I worked it out later because I heard a couple of kids laughing, and I heard them using a lighter, but I just assumed they were, messing around with it.
Yeah.
And later I was like, oh my God, they burned the back of my head. Mad, isn't it? Croydon.
Yeah.
Do you know?
I saw some videos on Facebook come up, this guy, or was it Instagram? I think it was Instagram, and because I remember you guys have told me like, oh, everywhere else is great. Where's Croydon? High Street? Don't go there. And I saw videos because I've measured that way. Saw some videos of that on Instagram, and I was like, fair.
Yeah, such a shame. It could be such a lovely area, but there's a literal shop. Not anymore, unfortunately. That shop has gone. But there used to be a literal shop, Maplin's, which was an electrical shop. You knew you were safe up to there. Mm-hmm. If you walk past Maplin's, you're in trouble. That genuinely, that was it. Don't walk past Maplin's.
Literally. Yeah. It was an Instagram thing of police tasing a guy. Yeah. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. Just don't walk past Maplin's.
And all this sort of thing, and all other things,
Yeah.
Full homeless tents outside of Greg's, and in terms of not just obviously you see that a lot in Charing Cross and stuff, for example. You see that quite a lot near the Strand and stuff, but that's where I felt during my time in London, even when I've come to visit you guys, every time I've been in Charing Cross going towards Covent Garden or something like that as well, it is always like it's like I always find it really just kind of bizarre as well, because then you've got the department which deals with like poverty and homelessness, government branch, or I can't remember what it's called, what department's called, but it deals with that sort of thing. And it's like, dude, it's literally outside your door. Yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I just thought that was just wild to me. But yeah, it was like an actual, like, they've set up, like, they made a house, obviously a tent, but they had like fucking cooking set up, all this sort of shit, just outside the cracks, literally not far from the station or whatever. Like, man set up an apartment here. You know, it's like
I remember
crazy.
Once. So going
sad.
Yeah, oh god,
sad and such a shame.
Yeah.
But I was just like, damn, like, you know, you'll see people in sleeping bags, but this was like a full setup. I was like, bro, what?
Yeah. Well, I remember once, I probably get away with talking about this now, but a few years ago I was a civil servant, and I walked out of a building once, and there was a guy stood there, and he asked, do you work in there? And he seemed a bit lost. So normally my answer would be, hell no, I don't know what you're talking about. But because he seemed a bit lost, I was like, what's up, mate? Talk to me. And he said, oh, you guys have just made me homeless. I was like, what? And he said, yeah, you've just, you know, I've now had to move out of the place I wanted to. It's, you know, something around some issue with immigration, you know. And I essentially said to him, I said, like, we're not bad guys. If you come and talk to the right people, we're not going to leave you homeless. Like, it's like, why are you talking to me at an exit instead of going into the entrance and going, look, I've got a problem, can you help me out? I was like, just go round the corner, talk to the front office, I've got a problem. Don't do it at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, do it early in the morning, and then it would get resolved, you know. And so, as much as you are absolutely right, there's a huge homeless issue. I have genuinely come across, I would say, about 30 people in the time I've worked in and around sort of civil servant-y type jobs that really don't help themselves. I've also come across people who genuinely do it because they want to. I don't understand how, I don't understand why they do this stuff, but yeah, it's really weird. But there is a huge homeless problem and it needs to be resolved. And there's lots of stuff going on, I can tell you that, from stuff I've seen from my current and previous jobs, that, you know, it's not being left, but it's still a problem. And fingers crossed it gets sorted, because, man, I would not want to be doing it myself, and I genuinely don't understand the people who seem to do it. Even I do know of one particular person that genuinely does it, even though they own a property. It's very strange. But obviously the vast majority don't, and I fully appreciate that is a problem that needs to get solved. Yeah, and my heart goes out to them, because Jesus Christ, what a horrible thing. But on that somber note, should we?
On that somber note.
Yes. I thought I'd at least try and you know, lift the mood before bringing it back down again.
Yes, of course.
Yes, on that somber note, shall we finish there? Actually, one more point. I meant to say it earlier. When I said about at the end, I went, welcome to Croydon, you know, a few minutes ago.
Yeah.
It timed perfectly with the end of one of my jazz songs, where it was just going dill-a-lill-a-lill-a-lill-a-ling, and I went, welcome to Croydon, and it was just like, oh, that sounded good. Anyway, on that note, welcome to Croydon, and is it? Hold on, wait. Welcome to Croydon. Wait. There we go. Now it's perfectly timed. Right. Have a lovely rest of your week. We shall see you hopefully on Thursday, if not, blame my cousin. Yes, have a good time, guys. Take it easy. Toodaloo, toodaloo.